Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and we're going back to the mansion. It's Resident Evil 1 time. I got sent a review copy of this one. This is Steamforged Games' follow-up to Resident Evil 2 and 3. I covered Resident Evil 3 previously and really enjoyed it. And disclaimer that I am a huge Resident Evil fan of the series overall. For this video, I'm going to do a 1 or 2 scenario playthrough. We'll see how it goes, and then I'll do a review at the end on how I think Resident Evil 1 has added to and changed things from the Resident Evil 3 formula I already covered. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Resident Evil 1, if you don't know what the video game series is about, this is a survival horror series that is about like fighting off zombies and stuff. The original one is set in a mansion. And just like Resident Evil 2 and 3 before it, this is a campaign game that can be played with 1 to 4 characters. In this case, I am dual-handing, my favorite way to play solo, with Chris Redfield, the boulder puncher himself, and Rebecca Chambers. They were the two paired up in the video game if you went the Chris route. And how the basic campaign structure works is you start in the main hall of the mansion, and each of these cars is a different scenario you can do. As you do them, you're going to unlock more equipment, you're going to add more cards onto the side, but some of these rooms are locked, like the Crypts B and the Crypts A here, so I can't progress through there yet, and of course those are the ones that are going to get me closer to actually winning the campaign. But as you play scenarios, you're going to be increasing your threat level, you're going to be adding new cards and equipment to all the deck, things will get tougher and more dangerous, and you have to win the entire campaign before this thing increases all the way back to the S, triggering your loss. But the core game takes place on tiles like this one. You'll be moving your characters around, opening and closing doors, exploring rooms, which will often have zombies and things spawning in them, and trying to get to items and accomplish whatever your mission tells you to do, killing a monster, reaching a specific area, finding a specific item. And the enemies will be activating, moving towards you. You can dodge them, you can kill them, although usually killing all of them is going to be impossible and drain your resources too much. And dodging and attacking are handled through a dice-based system. And your characters have their own inventory. They have kerosene they can use to burn zombies if they have a lighter and other things. They have a health track. You don't want to go all the way off where you become unconscious. Although even if you lose a scenario, it's not the end of the campaign. You just kind of reset things, but it does tick down some more of your threat or danger level, which means you're going to be closer to losing the campaign overall if it happens too many times. So those are the basics. Let's do the little narrative introduction to what's going on in this first scenario and see how it plays. First floor, West A. The wind lashes the trees outside, leaves and branches scratching against the window panes like nails from some unseen assailant. A flash of lightning paints your surroundings, and for a moment, you're sure you see the shadow of a figure on the opposite side of the window, hands pawing at the glass. Yet when your eyes find the frame, there's nothing to be seen. Perhaps your imagination. Perhaps not. Finding a secure place feels like your first objective. Somewhere you don't have to watch the shadows for movement and can establish a base of operations. So looking through the special rules for First Floor West A, objectives, we have to find and secure the safe room. If we're both in the safe room, we can complete the scenario at any time. But if there are any enemies in there with us when we finish, we'll skip one of the recovery steps of the end of scenario phase. So we don't want to do that. We want to clear it out. And special rules, quiet area. This is one they use for the first few scenarios. Usually if you go through the entire tension deck, this is the deck you draw 1 card from at the end of each player's turn, then you lose a scenario. But with quiet area in this scenario and some of the earlier ones, that doesn't apply, and you'll just reshuffle the deck. Safe Haven tells me that I don't have to draw a tension card for a character that's in the safe room, so I can kind of just wait for the other character to get there. And then very important is this card deck section. This is how Resident Evil 1 triggers the evolution of the card decks in the game. So it says for item deck A, I'm going to shuffle 1 triangle 1 number item A card into the deck, which is one of these kerosene containers. Usually there's none in the deck, but as we play through, it's going to become more common. And then it tells me what's going to be in the item B deck. An old key, a lighter, a first aid spray, and a kerosene container, so we shuffle those specific things in. And then we're also going to add a number 1 card to the tension deck, which is this card, Shattering Glass. Oh, because I think in the video game, this is maybe the area where when you walk by a window, a dog used to jump out. That always terrified me in the original game. So now there's one nastier than normal card hiding in this huge tension deck. We'll see it eventually. And then the scenario gives us the initial setup, including where there are zombies and a dog and corpses and how dangerous each of the rooms are. The green ones are already explored, so nothing new will spawn in them. But these yellow and orange ones will have something random in there. These A's and B's are the items we want to get. And something new in Resident Evil 1 that is different from 2 and 3 is that now you have these exploration cards. So when we go through, either of us, because Chris is starting over here and Rebecca over here, when we go through one of these doors, we'll flip this number 1 card and it will tell us how to set up more of the map. So there's a bit of like an exploration feel that wasn't there before. All right, and with all that done, let's decide who's going to go first. We want Chris or Rebecca. Chris has a zombie in a room with him. Rebecca's in this long hallway with 2 zombies. She's next to a door that leads to a room with a nice B item I probably want to go get. So sure, let's start with Rebecca Chambers. So the general flow of a turn is pretty straightforward. You resolve 4 actions, then you have a reaction phase, which means all the enemies in your tile or in connected tiles with an open door, all these doors start closed. They'll get to move or attack if they're in attack range. And then finally, draw and resolve the top tension card. At the beginning of the campaign, the vast majority of these are green, meaning nothing happens, but that will eventually change. And to look at Rebecca briefly, she starts with a handgun and 2 first aid sprays, great healing items. And the handguns have 15 ammo, and it's important to note that at the end of each scenario, you fully reload your handgun. That's not true of some other weapons. So you don't want to blow all our ammo too early, but it's not a bad thing to use it. And Rebecca has a basic evading stat of 2. She'll roll 2 dice to dodge enemy attacks. She can hold up to 6 cards worth of items. She can hold up to 4 kerosene, which she starts with, although she has nothing to do with it yet, whereas Chris has a lighter and can burn corpses. And then she has 2 abilities related to healing. Field Medic lets her use a healing item without spending an action, which is awesome, once per turn. And then when she uses a healing item, she heals 1 more than normal. So she is just medicing it up awesomely. But let's go ahead and see what's in here. So for her first action, she's going to open the door. And if she closes it behind her, then the zombies won't activate during the reaction phase. Although I think I want them to come towards me, maybe. All right, then for a second action, she's going to move in. 1 action will let you move a single square. You can move diagonally, although not across corners or through doors. So she couldn't go from here to here. The enemies can't either. She couldn't go from here to here. But she could easily go from here to there, for example. So second action, move in. And when you get placed on an unexplored tile, you're going to draw this many encounter cards. For a yellow, it's just 1. For this orange over here, it's 2. It's more dangerous. And then this is generally removed, so this room will count as explored for the rest of the game. And here's what the cards look like. You ignore the entire top half. That's used during missions for side characters. But I'm going to spawn a zombie and then draw a tension card. Yikes. And each tile has little spawn spaces, these hazmat symbols here. And we have to spawn on the closest one to our character. In this case, they're both 2 away, so we can pick. If more than 1 zombie had spawned, you would spread them out evenly between, but always preferring closest to your character for any remainder. And then we're drawing a tension card, all clear. So that's the majority of them again, nothing happens. All right, so then I could do 3, 4, get onto the B and pick it up, but then the zombie would be in my space, which is usually not where you want them to be. So let's go ahead and try to shoot this guy, I guess. I mean, you have a really low chance of killing zombies. With the basic shot of your handgun, you roll a die, and on this little kind of digging in piercing symbol, that's a push. So you just get to move the zombie in one direction. There's 2 of those on the blue die. And only on this 1 in 6 chance bullet hole icon on a blue die do you actually kill the zombie. Now you do have this symbol, which means I can spend up to 3 ammo to roll up to 3 blue dice instead of just 1 ammo for 1 blue die, if I really want to. But yeah, it seems a little dumb to shoot this guy now because I couldn't push him anywhere useful. So I'll go here for my third action and pick up the item for my fourth. Since it said B, I draw the top B card. More first aid. All right, well, Rebecca will be healing forever, I guess. And that's the end of my action step. I go to the reactions, and all we have right now is zombies. And they have 1 movement. They can only take 1 damage before dying, although they have the tough hide ability, so if they're killed, they get replaced with a corpse, and they could get up again. And normally their attack is only at 0 range. They hit you for 1 damage. If the top card of the tension deck has this little X icon on it, instead they'll gain 1 extra range, and then they'll attack you for 1 and move into your space. That's called an assault. But right now the tension does not have that, so it's just a basic 0 attack. So this guy will get into my space. You can have up to 4 of these small-based enemies in one place, and because I didn't close the door, these guys are creeping around. That's actually by design, though. I kind of would rather them come toward me, maybe even go into this room, and then if I can dodge around them, I can lock them in or something. Right now, them being right in the way of where I want to go is not ideal. Okay, and then I finally have the tension phase where I draw a tension card. Again, the other one I drew was because of the result from my encounter card. all clear again. And by the way, if you want to get into the theme more, there is flavor text on the all clears, although I usually don't read it. So the first one said, fear, hunger, exhaustion, all are demons threatening to drag you down. But you want to let this evening be your last, where another might find defeat, you only know resolve. You are a member of stars, and you have a duty to perform. And then for our second one, low growls torment you, sinister whispers that bleed from behind closed doors and through thin walls. In this hellish place, little respite is offered, only moments to catch your breath for as long as you dare. Lovely! So now let's get to how Chris is doing. So Chris Redfield also has 4 kerosene, also has a handgun. He has a knife, which is no better at fighting than the handgun, except it only has 1 range, so it can attack in his space or 1 adjacent, but it doesn't use ammo, so that part's nice. And his third item is a lighter. He can spend 1 of his kerosene to discard every corpse in 1 square in his space or adjacent. Corpses will be placed automatically in the scenario sometimes, and again, also the tough hide ability of zombies will place them when you kill a zombie. And every time you do an action ending in a space with a corpse, you roll a die, and there's a 1/6 chance it'll wake back up and become a zombie. And also having too many of these in play at the end of a scenario makes things get a little bit tougher for you in the next scenario. So yeah, not a terrible idea to burn baby burn. But for now, let's grab baby grab and get this item A. And if you didn't notice, there is no door between Rebecca's starting places and Chris's. We have to go through these little level 1 doors and reveal this card to actually make contact with each other. So 1 action, 2 actions. Let's draw the item A. There's going to be some handgun bullets. As an action, I can increase my handgun ammunition by 8. Not bad. And I have 2 actions left, but kind of like Rebecca, I'm not sure if I actually want to do anything. In fact, you can just give up your actions, and I think I will, because if the zombie moves here, I can just easily go boom, 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 and get right past him. So let's stop there, give up 2 actions. The zombie will come say hi, and we'll draw, there's a real tension card. So this symbol here corresponds to this little tracker. If you're deeper into the campaign, see, there it starts applying. But right now, we aren't following any of these special icons. So we just resolved the basic stuff at the top. Movement chases through the shadows, enemies all around you. If the next character is on the same tile at the start of their tension phase as they began their turn on, they must draw 2 additional tension cards. So that sadly doesn't impact Chris at all. That's meaning that if Rebecca doesn't get out of dodge, she'll be in a bad way. So that's interesting. What do I want to do? I think for my first action, I'm going to shoot this guy. Or alternatively, I could just try to evade him. If you try to take any action except attacking when somebody's on your space, then you roll as many blue dice as your evade stat, and you're looking for any of the arrows. 1, 2, 3 of them. So that's, what are the chances there? With 2 dice, each 50%, it's only a 1/4 chance that I'll fail. So sure, let's just try to move here and try to evade the guy. If I succeed at the evasion, I get away. If I don't, he'll do 1 damage to me. I'll stay in the same space and waste the action. But whenever somebody hits you in melee, you can push them 1, so I guess I'll still be able to get away either way. Whoops, that would have been a great attack roll. So he goes and bites at me, which means I go down 1 health level, although I think I'm okay for now. And then I get to push him 1 space in any direction. That's also how the pushes during combat works. So that was my first action. Second, third. Do I want to close the door on this guy? Sure, let's not have him bother us anymore. Then we go into the reaction phase. These guys are both on my tile, but this guy is not on a linked tile anymore because the door is closed. So he's just like, huh? Where'd you go? He already got a bite of me anyway, so I'm sure he's happy. And I did not end on the same tile as I started my turn on, so Frayed Nerves does not trigger. Instead, we just have an all clear. You pause, ears strain for even the slightest sound. Nothing beyond your own ragged breathing. So does that mean you're safe for now? No, Rebecca, there's 2 guys in this hallway with you. You're looking right at one of them. Good luck. All right, back around to Chris. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and fall over 4. Then for the reaction phase, the creature with the highest efficacy is called threat value goes first. So the Cerberus in the hall with me will activate, then the zombie in the link tile. Cerberus is moved 2. They still only have 1 life. Their basic attack is still the same. On an X, they have a 3 range attack where they jump on you. And also, if there's one of these symbols on top of the tension deck, they become feral and they'll activate twice during the reaction phase. But for now, it's just bloop, bloop, hello, and roar, I'll close the door on that guy in a second. Oh, and our tension card is a mission update. Your radio sputters into life. An abrupt reminder you're not alone in this forsaken place. Draw a mission card. This is one of the additions to RE1. Let's see what happens. So we draw a mission from this little deck, and this is supposed to be the other characters doing stuff. Now, at the beginning of the campaign, you only have Brad Vickers, who I think was the helicopter pilot. He canonically does not die in the game. He gets killed in Resident Evil 3 a little bit later, which matches his ability. He can never be killed, although otherwise sometimes these missions will murder the people that are working with you. So what's this one say? Searching for survivors. Place this card to one side of the playing area with the assigned character next to it. For the rest of the scenario, if an encounter card with the star symbol is drawn, draw a card from the survivor deck and place it and this card's assigned character in the reserve. Then remove this card from the game. So how most missions work is you draw from the encounter deck, usually like 5 cards or so, the same cards that we drew to spawn on the room that Rebecca went into. But instead, you're paying attention to the icons up here, and they'll do different things based on the mission. It looks like for this one, there's no chance that Brad can get hurt. But as I go into new rooms and spawn new monsters, you got to keep an eye out for a star symbol. If I get one, I'll get an extra survivor, which is only good for me. So this is a nice mission. All right, Brad, do some scouting. And let's get back to Rebecca in her little predicament here. So she could try to move through a lot and evade. She could try to attack. Let's maybe try and attack. Although even though it's more dangerous, I think I want to go right into this guy's space and attack him. So 2 moves. Because that way, if I get a pushing result, I can actually get past him and get him away from me. Now, there's a couple very important rules with attacking. When you attack, if you miss, if none of your dice result in a push or damage, then you get hurt automatically by the basic attack of the person. But additionally, really important, every time you do an attack, every other enemy that's on your tile or a linked tile with an open door, all the ones that would act during the reaction phase, get a free reaction from your attack. So like you shooting a lot of people is going to actually make them move towards you, which you can sometimes use to your advantage and sometimes it's terrible. But whatever, we're going to use 3 bullets, go full ham hog on this guy. And all we need is one of the push icons, although killing him would also be great. Hey, that works. So he is dead, which means he goes away. And because of his ability, he's replaced with a corpse. And then this guy moves in. Hello. So now I have 1 action left, and this is not ideal. If I move in here, he'll get to attack me. I can't stay where I am and skip my last action because you can never do that when you're on the same space as an enemy or a corpse. If I shoot him, it might not do anything, and every time you finish an action on a corpse space, you roll a die, and again, there's a 1/6 chance that they'll get back up. This little umbrella symbol, the 1 on this d6. I could retreat backwards, but then I'll be like messing with that corpse more. You know, what the hey, she has a lot of healing. I'm actually going to move into the space with the zombie. I'll let him attack me. Hopefully I evade it. Or even if he hits me, I'll just push him out of the way and have a pretty clear shot to get out. So yeah, he tries to bite me. Come on, Rebecca. 2nd time's the charm. Okay, there we go. So we do not get hurt. We also don't push him, though, because he didn't hurt us. Attention card, all clear. Dust falls from above in a thin trail, accompanied by the thump of footsteps. They're on the hunt, looking for you. All right, how about Chris? So let's go ahead and say, and close the door on that guy for my first action. And then he's got a ton of ammo, so let's, what the hey, take a 3-bullet shot on the doggy. Really would love to get that kill. Let's see. Hey, awesome. Dogs only have 1 health, and they do not leave a corpse behind, so that was good. What are the odds, by the way, of 1 or more hits on 3 dice? So what is it? It's 5, 6 times 5, 6 times 5, 6. So that's 125 out of 250. Okay, so it's like 50-50 of killing somebody with 3 shots, I think. But that was a great result. So that was 2 actions, 3, 4, and hey, no reaction because this guy's behind a door. All clear. Fatigue burns hard, your muscles complaining as much of your frayed nerves on this long night of sustained horror. But for a moment at least, you found respite. Pause to calm your nerves and consider your next move. Ooh, and this has got an X, which means during the reaction phase, not for reactions when I attack or like move away or that kind of stuff, but for their actual activation, zombies will be able to attack from 1 range away and then end up in my space, which is, great. But Rebecca ain't scared. First action, let's go down to 9 ammo. And start blasting. Oh, yes. Okay, so we got to... I was happy about the push. I didn't even see the kill, so he's dead. Got another corpse in our space. And I should have said the exception to rolling to see if a corpse stands up when you end an action in their space is if the action was to literally kill and make the corpse in the first place. So that was 1, 2, 3. But you know what? I'm going to hold off on actually walking in there because then I would be at the mercy of whatever badness shows up without any actions to deal with it. So no reaction step for her. All clear. Soft light paints your surroundings. On any other night, in any other place, you might call the atmosphere relaxing, but not here and not now. This is a nightmare. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 for Chris. Gonna do the exact same thing. Open the door, but not go in yet. We don't necessarily need the B items. They're not like special ones that I think we require in this scenario. Well, that's right. There was an old key. I might need that. So I'll plan to go in there. 1 spawn card for 2 items is pretty good. Uh-oh, cornered. A vicious snarl sends a shiver down your spine as you realize your foe has found you once more. Locate the tile closest to the active character where there are enemies but no characters. Remove the enemy on the tile with the highest threat level and place them on this character's tile on the closest hazmat symbol. So this guy, oh, give me a break, pops right onto me? Sorry I left you behind, man. And somehow you teleported through the door. All right. Huh, you know, looking at things now, that's a 2 encounter card, and that's only an A item. So we'll say that we still left the door open, but let's go 1, 2, 3, and still not go in yet to see what the next part of the map is. She's got an all clear. In times to come, this evening will define you. How you overcame the challenges, how you defeated your enemies, how you triumphed and solved this mystery. Don't let this beat you. You must survive. I will. But will Chris? Will Chris. So, you know, he's still got a lot of bullets. Let's shoot. Let's do the 3 shot again. I really don't want to deal with this guy as I'm in this room. All right, even a push would be fine. Okay, yes. Let's keep on going with the dice luck. We're leaving another corpse there. Although, you know what? No, we aren't. For my second action, I'm going to spend the lighter fluid, one of my kerosenes, and burn the corpse. No point in taking chances. All right, that was 2 actions. So there's 2 spawn points in there, here and here. Should I go in with 1 action left? Let's see what it is. So 3. Hey, discard this card without effect. And what is that? It? Yeah, this is the best card ever. So yeah, we have Brad rescue somebody. So this card is removed from the game. Most of them are, except for a few that have like a little like cycle icon on here. And we find somebody new. Richard Aiken. I barely remember him because he definitely died in the game. Dependable to the end. If Richard dies during a mission, reduce the mansion danger level by 2. So we want him to die eventually. Cool. Thanks, Richard. And yeah, that was great. Wait, so I had 1 action left. That's right. So there's a wall there, so I can't go straight diagonally to the B. I'll go get all these in a second. Oh, and here's that tension card, Shattering Glass, the one we added. You jump at the sound of breaking glass and prepare for the worst. Okay, we draw an additional card. And we would have a dog jump in, just like in the video game, if this happens later in the campaign, but for now, it's not doing anything extra. And it's another all clear. Fatigue burns hard, your muscles complaining as much as your frayed nerves on this long night of sustained horror. But for a moment at least, you've found respite. Pause to calm your nerves and consider your next move. Indeed, I will. All right, now let's do Rebecca's next move. So, 1, she's moving in, which means we are going to see what is waiting for us. Okay, so we got to orient this right. The S is where we're coming from. So yeah, that's correct. So she's moving into a 1-card room with, this is a gate, which means you can never close it. So that whole like area is going to be able to activate. At least once I move in there. That's a double card room with a B. That's what Chris will be going into. An A in, oh, there's nothing in there. It's just an A. That's great. And this is a 2-card room with a B. And then we do need some kind of lock or some key to open the simple lock room. And it is the old key that's in the B deck. So we do need to get B cards until we at least find that. And there we go. We're all set up. So Chris will be able to go through that room once he gets his items. I'm hoping that one of these 2 Bs has the old key, because I'd love to never go in this room if I can help it. But that room is pretty much free to go into. Let's see what the A has, what this basic room has waiting for us. Shoot, spawn a Cerberus. And we have a choice. It's actually right there. Now, interestingly, remember these rooms are linked. So if Chris comes in here, the Cerberus would like also be activating. But I've got 3 actions left. I can go 2, open 3, move in 4. He'd be right there. I should be able to do some kind of trickery to maybe like trap him in the room. See, I'm not going to fight him yet. So 2, 3, 4. There is no encounter icon here, so I don't have to draw anything. Okay, and then the Cerberus will chase after me. And all clear. Low growls torment you. Yeah, there's a dog behind me. Sinister whispers that bleed from behind closed doors and through thin walls. In this hellish place, little respite is offered. Only moments to catch your breath for as long as you dare. Did we already read that one? Oh, and we got an X. Although luckily Chris currently has no connection. If you open this door, he would also activate the Cerberus, but he's not going to have to activate anybody. So that won't matter. He's going to go 1, grab, 2, 3, grab. So we'll get a B and an A. Gives him more handgun bullets and another lighter he can give to Rebecca. Now he's got a max of 6 card capacity, so we might as well shoot some people and use these bullets. But for now, that's about it, and all clear. Let's stop reading it because it does look like they repeat. I think I've gone through maybe all of the possibilities. All right, Rebecca. There is nowhere she can go where the dog won't be able to reach her, but he won't attack because that X is gone now. So she can just try to dodge away. Although it is tougher to dodge medium-sized guys. But yeah, so she's going to go 1, 2, 3. The A for her, gosh, she keeps on getting healing stuff as a green herb. So she can heal somebody in same space or an adjacent space by 1 level. With her power, it would not cost an action and it would be healing by 2, which is pretty great for a green herb. And she's going to stop there. Cerberus will say hello. And then my plan is to shoot a lot at him. If I don't kill him, I'll just push him and close the door anyway. If I do kill him, that's even better. And she got an all clear. Nice. All right, Chris's turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sadly, we do have to go the long way around because we can't cut the corner. And all clear. All right, and here we go. Let's go down to 6 bullets. I got so many clips now. So the full 3 bullet spread. And okay, that's fine. We get 2 pushes. And since we got at least 1 hit, it doesn't count as them hurting us. So we'll just shove him in the corner. You can push in any direction you want. So we could have also been like boom, boom. So that was 1, 2, bye doggy, 3, and 4. So no reaction. That worked out well, and it's all clear. All right, now Chris, though, the negative here is that whatever Chris reveals will activate on his turn and will also activate on Rebecca since they'll be linked by the little gateway. Well, whatever. 1, 2, 3. We got to draw 2 cards. Okay, spawn a corpse and place a yellow unexplored token on this tile. I'll explain that in a second. And then spawn 2 more corpses. Wow. Thank God for kerosene, right? Okay, so 3 corpses total, which means 2 are going to be on the one next to him, and 1's going to be right there. And then the whole thing about placing a yellow unexplored, that means that for now, as long as we're in here, nothing else is going to happen. But when Rebecca comes here, or if Chris went and left and then came back, we would have to draw a single new card. So basically, there's some surprise still waiting for us. And how many actions was that? I think that was 3. So for his 4th action, hey, let's do some kerosene and burn both of these corpses. Does leave him with only 2 left, though, and I think that was his 4th action. And it's all clear. All right, that leaves Rebecca. So we haven't seen if that's the bee we need or not yet. And the other one was more kerosene. So yeah, I definitely don't care if I don't get that. So I'm going to have her go 1, 2, and then wait. She won't move in yet until Chris sees on his turn what's over there. Uh-oh, unfolding events. Something unusual awaits in the gloom ahead. Draw a narrative card, then remove this card from the deck for the rest of the scenario. So it can never come back because, again, in the easier scenarios, the deck can get shuffled multiple times. But then in harder scenarios, you can use an ink ribbon with a typewriter and shuffle the deck yourself. So this card would never happen more than once, though. Okay, let's see. Radio warning. Your radio sputters into life. A thin mechanical voice warning of dangers ahead, but it dies once more. You can discard an ink ribbon to refresh the tension deck. Oh, so that would be free to do. That's pretty awesome. But if players don't discard an ink ribbon, we don't have any. Shuffle this card back into the deck and draw a replacement. Poisoned teammate. A weak voice breaks the silence, begging for your help. Okay, so we can have, I guess it would be Brad or Richard do the 5 mission card to save someone who's poisoned. Or we can immediately fail the scenario and then draw a card from the survivor deck. So we can basically give up what we're doing to go rescue them. Or we can draw a card from the survivor deck and just kill them. I don't want to do that. And by the way, like the other cards, this is a once per campaign thing, unless it has a symbol, so this is the only time this will ever happen. Okay, the Get the Serum mission. Draw cards until this character finds 3 or more magnifying glasses or abandons the mission. If this character found 3 or more magnifying glasses, draw a card from the survivor deck. If the character was killed or abandoned the mission, draw a card from the survivor deck and remove it from the game. All right, so I can assign Richard or Brad to this. Richard, I do want to die, but not yet, because I don't have any danger level yet, so it would be a waste of his ability. If Brad would die during a mission, the mission is abandoned, and Brad is returned to the reserve with a danger health card. Brad's card is then exhausted. While exhausted, Brad can't be assigned a mission. Okay, so let's have him do it. So he's got the same 5 health to start that we do. They've got these separate cards to track that. And I'm going to be drawing cards from the encounter deck until I get 3 magnifying glasses, or there are also ones that cause damage, so I don't want to get too many of those. And we can stop at any time. 1 damage, 2 damage. This is going great. Ooh, 2 magnifying glasses out of 3. 3 magnifying glasses and a 3rd damage. All right, so Brad's pretty hurt. You put a card that marks how much damage he has with him. So he's not exhausted yet. He could technically do another mission, although I don't think I'd want him to. But he succeeded in his mission, which means we rescue. Cool, Jill. So this is an actual full character. And they become someone else that can go on missions just like Brad, although they can actually die. But additionally, in future scenarios, I can swap them in, like if I want to use Jill instead of Chris, for example. So cool, that worked out pretty great. That was all Rebecca's narrative, or tension card, I want to say, I think. So let's have Chris find out what this B is for his first 2 actions. And awesome, it is the old key. So forget you, what was it, kerosene. We're not going to hang out with you. Let's keep moving. Oh, crud. He's got too many cards. Now, you can trash a card at any time, but I want to get rid of the second lighter. I want to give that to Rebecca. So here, for his third action, technically before he picked this up, let's say that he used the handgun bullets to get up to 8 back, so he's going to be fully loaded. Then his third action will be to pick up the old key. And for his fourth action, he'll start walking over here. Okay, and no reaction. Let's see what his tension is. All clear. Nice. Rebecca, come on in here. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, hello. Uh-oh. Locate the closest tile to the active character that contains one or more enemies and at least one non-locked closed door. Open every non-locked closed door on the tile. So closest, like a velociraptor, that dog learned how to open doors. So that was 2 actions. For her third action, she's going to trade and take Chris's lighter, and then she'll move up to there. I looked at the rules. It doesn't seem like they can trade kerosene, so I guess I'll assume they can't. All right, and now, unfortunately, this dog is linked all the way back to them, but we got a little while. I feel like we might be able to get out before he reaches us. See how it goes. So Rebecca's tension card is all clear. Uh-oh, it's got an X, which means that if the dog was within 3, he'd do his leaping attack instead of running at us, but he won't be. All right, so we come to Chris's turn. Let's go ahead and burn this corpse just to prevent any surprises, although now we're down to 1 kerosene for him. So that was 1, 2, 3, perfect. 4, he can unlock the door because he has the old key. And now even if we close it again, it would still not be locked, so we take that away. But it's an all clear. But this guy's getting a lot of activations. Okay, Rebecca, just run in there. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what awaits us. It's not too much, okay? It's going to be a yellow. And then there's an A in this double card room. I don't think I care about that. And there's a safe room. Woo! All right, so if we can both get there, we are home free. She has, I think, 1 action left. Let's see what the yellow is. After resolving all spawn entries on cards drawn with this card, replace the closest corpse with a zombie. That's 0, baby. Good thing we burned them. All right, so she'll just start walking this way. Doggus says hello, but Chris is going to be about to say goodbye, and the all clear is not going to stop him. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we should be safe. I'm definitely not going in there unless something weird happens. All clear for Chris. Rebecca, 1, 2, 3, 4. All clear for her. Chris, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost there. All clear. Ooh, there's the one that makes the dogs feral. Rebecca, 1, 2, 3. No tension card. Chris, no tension card. And hey, let's just close the door for good measure. This is an item box, by the way. We could trade with things in our reserve, which currently is none. So we have succeeded, and we rescued 2 people. And, Brad almost died, but he'll be fine anyway. So that was pretty great. And we did pretty well item-wise. The old key goes away, but all the rest of the stuff we get to keep. Rebecca's got a lighter. She should probably trade like 1 of these to Chris, or maybe put even some in the item box because they don't have that much capacity. Jill's abilities are a little bit weaker, but she's got 8 capacity for holding items, which is great. But yeah, let's see how the end of scenario works. All right, so first we automatically increase the mission danger level by 1. So there we go. Now we're in the green. And then normally we'd need 2. If there were 5 or more corpses, we would add a bad card to the encounter deck, but there are not. We burned all but 1 of them. But also, because this was an easier scenario, it had a rule to skip this. That was in the same place where it said you would reshuffle the tension deck. 3 we do. If there are 5 or more zombies in the playing area, there is only 1. The dog doesn't count. Increase the danger level by 1. Okay, cool. Discard any key items. We already did that. Okay, and then we can store or retrieve any number of items. So yeah, I think let's store the green herb. Let's give each of them only 3 things. I'd rather have the bullets than the knife. There we go. All right, so all of these will be in the item box, giving us 3 spots again each. Okay, then we get to reset our handgun ammunition to 15, and if we had other weapons like shotguns and grenade launchers, we would get 2 ammo back automatically, and then we can use ammo. We're not going to. Each character heals by 1 automatically. So Rebecca's back to full, and Brad's feeling a lot better as well. Oh no, it's even better than I thought. The next instruction says heal people in the reserve that aren't exhausted by 2, and he wasn't exhausted because he didn't get killed. All right, then we just shuffle the relevant cards back in, like the handgun bullets I used get shuffled back into the A deck. But the B deck and the 1 kerosene container we didn't get, that just goes back into the B supply because, again, you build a new deck each time. And then finally, the instructions say to add first floor West B. And we can just skip over West A now. So we could go there, although that's a tougher one. We could go to first floor East A, where the shotgun is, the second floor rooms, and we'll just kind of build out things. And eventually we'll get items that will let us unlock the other things. Oh, and actually, sorry, I should say first floor B West is itself locked. Oh, this is the Moonlight Sonata music, right? Oh man, I gotta play Resident Evil 1 again sometime. But there we go. That was the first scenario, or one of the first 4 scenarios you can play in Resident Evil 1. What do I think about this? So first, I would encourage you to go back and watch my Resident Evil 3 full review because a lot of the same things apply here. The basic movement system, the basic combat system, the items, the resource management, the way health works, the way healing works, a lot of the ways the campaign works are almost identical. So I'm mainly going to focus on the new elements in this one, but I will say right off the bat, the game is still pretty random with the tension cards and the die rolls and all of that. But I still personally really like the way combat works, really like the way enemies work. You do feel like overwhelmed sometimes, but you also, I think, have a lot of cool choices in when you fight and when you dodge, and it's not always obvious which is the best option. And yes, the randomness is there, but it all kind of plays into that decision-making process. So I continue to enjoy all of that. But let's talk about the newer things. The way that the scenarios are laid out in the map, it's not super different from the other ones, but I do think it works well. The exploration, I personally think this is great. Now, it's going to annoy some people because you do have to kind of pause the game and track down a few tiles and a few tokens real quick whenever you move in, but it means that it's quicker to set up in the beginning, and this really only takes like a minute or two, and that's for solo, with more players helping it be even faster. So I personally like the exploration aspect. I like that you're not quite sure what you're going to get. I like that your characters like kind of split up and you need to find ways to join them. So I personally think this is a cool thematic and mechanical improvement, for my taste at least, over Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 2. I also think this stuff is fun thematically, the reserve and the missions. You know, it's not that important, but having like another resource to manage and having your team, and again, these are like actual characters, so if you know the Resident Evil lore, like which of these died and which ones didn't, you can try to like change and have your own version of things, or sacrifice people to help you out. I think all of that is a neat little addition, not nearly as impactful as the exploration, but still really cool. And the way the missions work and like this kind of push your luck thing of drawing cards, I think that's fine. It's pretty interesting to see the missions I've done so far. Some of them are like getting you resources or getting you healing supplies. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here. And then just one more thing to note in terms strictly of components. The board, hologram, the board that keeps track of all the cards and everything is like a really nice kind of thick plastic now. I know that some reviewers, including my friend Mark from Not Board Gaming, were furious at Resident Evil 3, which had a paper board, like not even like nice cardboard, but like literally the thinnest paper. So this is certainly an upgrade over one major component complaint from the last one. And then something else just to note, I do continue to wish that the doors were a little bit more like visibly obvious when they're open or closed, that the tiles were a little bit brighter. I think they're bright. It's been a while since I played Resident Evil 3, but I think they're a little bit brighter. I didn't have a hard time in this play kind of seeing where things were. I don't know how tough it was for you watching. But yeah, that was like one other component complaint, and I'm not sure it's 100% better. But yeah, again, pretty much my entire Resident Evil 3 review still stands. But I do think the new exploration system and the new like character management stuff is an upgrade over Resident Evil 3, which is already a game that I really liked and really enjoyed. So I would say this is the best version of the game that Steamforge has made yet. They announced Resident Evil 4, which is maybe my favorite Resident Evil game. It's between 4 and 2. But I think that's going to be a different system. It's much more action-packed and like action-focused because that's how Resident Evil 4 is. It's a much more action-packed game. So even if that one ends up being awesome, I think it's going to be pretty different, which means I'm pretty sure this is going to stand as the pinnacle of the Steamforged survival horror Resident Evil series that they've made. Certainly the one that I would recommend. And hey, it's the first one chronologically, so if you're following the Resident Evil story for the first time, this is the best one to start at with anyway. So yeah, I thought this one was great. So thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming. Don't get eaten by a zombie, and I'll see you at the next stop.